Hello friends, we'll discuss about the virtual memory, that is module 4 part 1 of operating system. So under this topic we'll discuss about demand paging, why the demand paging is required, and then later we'll discuss on copy on write, when copy on write plays important role. Later we'll discuss about say page replacement. Under page replacement, what do you mean by page replacement, why page replacement is required, what are the different algorithm to implement it. So next after that we'll discuss about say allocation of frames, how we can allocate frames for different process, and the last part is it is thrashing. So now we'll discuss about say introduction about this demand paging. So when a particular process want to execute, sorry, process means a program, say program which is under execution is called say process. Say one option is you can bring the entire program into the memory, or you can bring a part of that program into the memory. So which is better, whether we need to bring entire program or a part of program? So if you bring the entire program or process, so it require more memory, and it is not possible to execute more number of program or process in the memory. So now instead of bringing the entire program or process into the memory, so it is better to bring the part of the program or process into the memory. Why? Because if you bring the entire program or process into the memory, say array list tables are often allocated more memory than they actually needed, and it is not possible to execute say more number of process. So instead of that, if you bring the part or partially program into the memory, the program would no longer be constrained by the amount of physical memory that is available. Why? Because you are bringing only part of the memory. So because of each user program could take less physical memory, more program could be run at the same time. Means that if you are bringing say part of the program or process into the memory, so you can execute more number of processes. Why? Because you are bringing only part of it, and it may require say less IO, that is input output service, through which say you can run the program or process more faster compared to the first strategy. So here in demand paging, say you need to divide the program or process into multiple pages. Okay, so that pages you need to bring from secondary memory to primary memory depending on the requirement. So in the demand paging, say you can have say advantages. Say virtual memory allows files and memory to be shared by two or more processes through page sharing. That indicates that say single page can be shared by more than one process. So here is one example. Say they given system libraries can be shared by several processes through mapping of the shared object. That indicates that say shared library is a particular page that can be shared by multiple process through a shared pages. So virtual memory allows one process to create a region of memory that can be shared with another process. That is nothing but say shared library. So if you create that by using the shared pages, then that pages can be shared by the multiple process. So demand paging. So what do you mean by demand paging? So already we discussed say to execute a program, say one option is you can bring the entire program into the memory, or you can bring the part of it. if you bring entire program into memory, so it is difficult to execute multiple program and it require more memory. An alternative strategy is to load pages only as they are needed. When the set of pages are required, bring only those pages. So it is called demand paging. Pages that are never accessed are thus never loaded into the memory. That indicates that pages till now which are not accessed at all, it will not be loaded at all. That indicates that when the particular page is required, then only you are bringing that page from particular page from your secondary memory to primary memory. For that reason it is called demand paging. So here, when you're bringing a particular page, so uh, it is not here it is called say pager. It will done that task by swapping in and swapping out of of a particular page. So here it is called as a pager which does the swapping task. So now, how to bring and how to move out a particular page. So when a particular page is not there, you need to bring a particular page from secondary memory to primary memory. That is called as a page fault. When the accessed page is not present in the main memory, and then you need to bring that particular page from secondary memory to primary memory, it is called as a page fault. So here, to incorporate this, say in the page table, say one more field is added, it is called say valid invalid bit. So what is the use of it? When this bit is set to valid, the associated page is both legal and in memory. That indicates that that particular page is present in the main memory if it is valid. If the particular bit is set to invalid, the page either not valid or it is not valid or it is not legal in the memory. I mean to say address space. So here is one example for that. See, logical memory, which is say multiple pages A to H, and page table. So in the page table, say you can observe say last part it is valid invalid bit. V stands for valid, I stands for invalid. That 4 frame number 4, that indicates that A is present and it is valid in the memory. And in frame number 6, C is valid and it is already present. For that reason, say valid invalid bit is a V. And frame number 9, F, which is valid and it is present in the main memory. For that reason, say valid invalid bit is V. So remaining all the bits, valid invalid bits are I. That indicates that invalid, not in memory, or it is maybe it is illegal or it is not legal. So now, once page fault occurs, how to handle it? So now, if you want to load a particular page, then it will verify the page table. If the bit is that is valid invalid bit is set to I, that indicates that invalid, then a trap instruction will be given for the operating system, or interrupt will be given for the operating system saying that a particular page is not present. Then operating system will search in the main memory, sorry, in the secondary memory. Then it will bring that page into the available free frames. Okay, so once it is brought in, it will reset the page table, Why? Because it need to entry in the page table, and it must make that valid invalid bit to valid, and again restart that instruction. So these are the steps used to handle the page fault when a particular page fault occurs. Aspects of demand paging. So when a particular page is required in the main memory, so the hardware to support demand paging is same as that hardware for paging and swapping. The same hardware will be used for the demand paging, which is used for paging and swapping. So which consisting of say page table. This table has the ability to mark the entry valid invalid through a valid invalid bit or special value for the protection bit. And secondary memory, so this memory holds those pages that are not present in the main memory backstore. Okay, it is known as the swap device. So when a particular page you want to move from the memory, and it will be stored back in the secondary memory, and if you want to bring a particular page, then you need to bring that particular page from the secondary memory to main memory. So now when a particular instruction is executing, if a particular then with respect to a particular page, if a page fault occurs, what happens? Then you need to restart that instruction. You need to restart that instruction from where it left. So when a particular, okay, we'll take one example here. Say you need to add a and b, you need to add a and b, and compute the sum, store the sum of a and b in C. Now when you're performing sum, assume a page fault occurs, then you need to restart from the beginning. That is nothing but uh, decode the add instruction, fetch a, fetch b, add a and b, and store it in C. So this is the worst case, where you need to restart the instruction from the beginning itself. Now performance of demand paging. So so to understand this, we need to compute say effective access time. So the effective access time is equal to 1 minus p into ma plus p into page fault time. That page fault time is nothing but once a particular page fault occurs, the time it requires to service that page fault. And p is nothing but probability of page fault. Ma is nothing but memory access time. So that page fault time, it consisting of say different step. Say give the trap to operating system, save the user register and process state, determine that interrupt was a page fault, check that the page reference was legal, and determine the location of the page on the disk. Now here is one example to compute that effective access time. With the average page fault service time of 8 millisecond and memory access time is say 200 nanosecond, the effective access time in nanosecond is equal to say 200 plus 799,800 into p. That indicates that effective access time is directly proportional to the page fault rate. If one access out of 1000 causes a page fault, the effective access time is 8.2 millisecond. So an example. So next topic is copy on write. Name itself suggests, say topic name itself suggests copy on write. So traditionally say fork purpose of the fork command is to create a child process. Now purpose of the exec command is to copy the parent address space and start the execution of the child process. So instead of creating separate copy of the program or process, say you can use copy on write such a way that, so this copy on write works like this, allowing parent and child initially to share the same pages. Child and parent will share the same pages, and if a particular process, maybe parent or child want to write something with respect to particular page, that particular page will be created separately for that particular process, maybe for parent or child. So this is the initial state, process 1 and process 2 sharing the same pages. Okay, common pages will be shared. So otherwise, say instead of copy and write, say you need to create separate pages. Now process 1 want to write or modify the content of the page C, then the separate copy will be created for process 1. That indicates that copy of page C will be accessed by process 1, page C will be accessed by process 2. Why? Because process 1 want to modify the content of page C. Now the remaining pages, that is page A and page B, will be common for process 1 and process 2. But page C and copy of page C will be different, consisting of different content, and it will be shared by different process. Why? Because a page C will be accessed by process 2, copy of the page C will be accessed by process 1. Why? Because process 1 want to write content to the page C. So next topic, it is very important topic, that is page replacement. So why page replacement is required? When there is no free frames in the free frame list. Okay, so you want to bring a particular page into main memory from secondary memory, and there is no free frames at all. I mean to say, all the frames are already allocated. Then you need to replace a particular frame by the new page. Otherwise, you need to terminate a particular process. So instead of that, remove a particular frame which is not in use and bring a particular page from a secondary memory to main memory. So now, so basics of page replacement. So find the location of the desired page on the disk, that indicates that which page you want to bring. Find it. Find a free frame. Find a free frame in the main memory. If there is a free frame, use it. If there is no free frame, use page replacement algorithm to select a victim frame. Write the victim frame to the disk. Change the page and frame tables accordingly. Read the desired page into the newly freed frame. Change the page and frame table. Restart the user process. So this is the step you need to follow with respect to page replacement. So here is diagrammatic representation of page replacement. Page out victim page, which page you want to remove from the main memory. Change to invalid in the page table with respect to the particular page of a particular process. Page in desired page to that location. Again reset the page table of the newly arrived page in the page table. Page and frame replacement algorithm. Now, if no frames are free, two page transfer, that is in and out, are required. Now, when you're replacing a particular page, say while bringing a new page into the main memory, say you need to write back the already existing page. Now it will be overhead. So you need to write back the page which is already there in the main memory, and you need to bring. So while moving a particular page out of the memory, you need to write again and again. So instead of that, to reduce the overhead, we are using modify bit. If the modify bit with respect to particular page is set, that indicates that that particular page is modified. Then while replacing page, you need to write that page back to the secondary memory. If the modify bit is not set with respect to particular page which is present in the main memory, that indicates that that page is not modified. The content are similar in the sense the content which is present in the main memory is similar to the content which is present in the secondary memory. Then no need to write back that particular page to the secondary memory. Using this modify bit, say you can reduce the overhead. So graph representing say page fault versus number of frames. So this graph suggests say as the number of frame increases, the page fault decreases. As the number of frame decreases, the page fault rate increases. So it is better to have say more number of frames to get less number of page faults. This is the first page replacement algorithm. Say very important. Say first in first out. That indicates that page which entered first will be replaced first. So here with respect to this, they will give the problem with the reference string. So here the given reference string is 70120304230321201701. That is the reference string. And they given that, so we need to consider say 3 frames. Okay, they given that we need to implement this algorithm with respect to 3 frames. Now write the given reference string, and in between each reference character you need to provide some space for our convenience. Now the first character in the given reference string is it is 7. Under 7 write a tower which consisting of say 3 rows. Now whether that 7 is present, no, bring that 7. For that reason, in the on below the reference character 7, we return the topmost of that tower, it is 7. Next reference character is 0. That 0 is not present, bring that. Why? Because it is again page fault. First again with respect to 7 there is a page fault. Next reference character is 1, bring that 1. Now the 3 frames are full now. Okay, till now 3 page faults occurred. So next we require a reference string that is 2, reference character that is 2. So there is no space for 2. Now you need to replace the already existing reference character. Now with respect to this algorithm, it says we need to replace character which is all entered first. Now first entered character is 7. For that reason, replace that 7 by 2. Now the content of the 3 frame, it is 201. So next required character is 0, but 0 is already present. For that reason, no page fault. So next we require 3. 3 is present, no, you need to bring. Now which is the first in page out of 201? Now first in page out of 201 is 0. For that reason, replace that 0 by tree. So next we require again 0. We require 0. 0 is present? No. Now you need to replace one page out of 231. So out of 231, first in page is 1. Replace that 1 by 0. Now the content of the frames will be 230. So like that you need to do till the end. Now the total number of towers, it will be say 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12 13 14 15. That will be the total page faults. So with respect to FIFO, there is uh, an anomaly called say Bilady's anomaly. If you consider the string that is 1 2 3 4 1 2 5 1 2 3 4 5, if the total number of page faults with respect to uh, 4 frames is greater than the total number of page faults with respect to 3 frames. So that is nothing but say you will get 10 page fault with respect to 4 frames, and you will get 9 page fault with respect to 3 frames. So that is nothing but, so we are getting most unexpected result. So this is known as Bilady's anomaly. So next algorithm, it is optimal algorithm. So in optimal algorithm, say replace the page that will not be used for longest period of time. Replace the page that will not be used for the longest period of time will be replaced. Again we are considering 3 frames. We are taking same reference string, that is 70120304230321201701. Now again, while writing the reference string, give some space, write down the first 3 frame. So 7, we require 7, bring that 7. Next we require 0, bring that 0. Next we require 1. So now the 3 frame is full. Now the content of the 3 frame, it is say 701. Now we require 2. Now you need to replace one frame out of 701. Now under optimal algorithm, it says say, replace the page that will not be used for the longest period of time. Now out of 701, which is not used for the longest period of time, that is nothing but 7 at the end. 7 is required at the end. You can observe in the reference string, say last 3 characters are say 701. So before that we require 0 and 1. So for that reason, replace that 7 by 2. Now the content of this 3 frame, it is 201. 201. 0 is present, no need to replace. Now we require 3. Now whether we need to replace, okay, which page we need to replace out of 201. Now you need to replace 1. Why? Because 1 is required in the not required, which is required, I mean to say, it is recently not required. So compared to 2 and 0, you can observe in the reference string in the forward direction. For that reason, replace that 1 by 3. Now so like that you need to continue till the end. And now the total, now count the total number of towers. So you will get say 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9. Now the total number of page fault will be 9. But the problem with respect to optimal algorithm, say it is difficult to implement. Why? Because it requires future knowledge of the reference string. That indicates that in the forward direction, you need to count the mean to say you need to count the reference of it. So you require the future knowledge of each reference character of the reference string. So next one is least recently used, LRU. So here the page it executes, or the algorithm uses the concept called say page that has not been used for the longest period of time. Now you need to come from the back end. So in the previous algorithm, say you need to search in the forward direction. Now you need to search in the reverse direction. Page that has not been used for the longest period of time, that will be replaced. So here again same string. Okay, while writing the string you need to give space between the characters. Now till the first three faults are same, that is first 7 you need to bring, next you need to bring 0, next you need to bring 1. So next you need to replace one page with respect to out of say 701. Now which page you need to replace? The page that has not been used recently, least recently, not recently. Now one is used recently. Now compared to one, say 0 is used say least recently. Compared to 0 and 1, 7 is used least recently. If you take the first three characters, say 701, 1 is used recently, 0 is used, so not least recent, sorry, it is least recent compared to 1, and 7 is least recently used compared to 0 and 1. For that reason you need to replace 7 by 2. So like that you need to continue till the end. The total number of towers at the end, at the bottom, whatever we written, that will be the total number of page fault. Now how to implement this least recently used? So two ways you can implement it, that is with the help of counters and with the help of stack. So here with respect to counter, say associate counter with in the page table entry the time of use field and add the CPU counter. The counter is incremented for each memory reference. Okay, whenever a reference to a page is made, the content of the counter is copied to the time of use field of the page. The entry, okay, of the page table entry, we replace the page with the smallest value, the smallest page counter value, that will be replaced. The stack, by using stack, so whenever a page is referenced, it is removed from the stack and put on the top. So in this way the most recently used page will be the top of the stack, the least recently used page will be at the bottom. When a particular page is referenced least, that will be the top, sorry, which is used recently, that will be the topmost page. The page which is not used recently, that will be in the bottom. Now replace the bottommost page. Now one more algorithm, it is second chance page replacement algorithm. So how it works? In the page table, the particular reference value called say reference bit, if the value is 0, we proceed and replace the page. If the reference bit with respect to particular page is set to 0, that indicates that we can replace it. If the reference bit is set to 1, we need to give second chance to a particular page and move to the next page. Okay, so once we done with one round, and while replacing in the second round, so replace that page with the reference bit 1 and reset to the reference bit value to 0. So sometimes what happens is, in the worst case, when all the bits are set, the pointer cycles through the whole queue, given each page a second chance. When the value of the reference bit is 1 for all the pages, then it is, say, we need to search, the pointer will search and it will keep on moving in a round. Why? Because all the bits are set to 1. It is difficult to select a victim page. So this is how it is explained here. So enhanced second chance algorithm. So in enhanced second chance algorithm, so it is enhanced such a way that here two bits are used, that is reference bit and modify bit. In the first order pair it is 0 0, so neither recently used nor modified, the best page to replace. 0 1, so not recently used but modified, not quite good for the replacement if you compare with the first one. So 1 0, recently used but clean, that is not modified. 1 1, recently used and modified. I think last one indicates that we may need that particular page in our upcoming sequence. So counting based page replacement algorithms. So under this, say, two types of page replacement algorithm, that is least frequently used and most frequently used. So under least frequently used, so smallest counted value particular page will be replaced. Most frequently used, the page replacement algorithm is based on the argument that the page with smallest count was probably just brought in and has yet to be used. So based on this, the most frequently page will be removed, I mean to say replaced. So allocation of frames. Now there are, say, multiple process. How we can allocate number of frames to a particular process? Whether we need to allocate equal number of frames for all the process, or is there any order such a way that we need to allocate the frames to a particular process? Now two types of allocation, that is equal allocation and proportional allocation. Equal allocation says all the process will get equal number of frames. Proportional allocation means each process will get number of frames based on the size of the process. I'm going to say size of the pages. Global versus local allocation. So global replacement allows a process to select a replacement frame from set of all frames, even if that frame is currently allocated to some other process. That indicates that in the global replacement process, a particular process can get frames which is allocated to the other process. Local replacement means replacement occurs with respect to frame which is allocated to a particular process only, in that list only. With the global replacement, a process may happen to select only frames allocated to the other process, thus increasing the number of frames allocated to it. And one process will get more frames and another process will get less. One problem with the global replacement algorithm is that the process cannot control its own page fault rate. Why? Because that particular frames or frames which is allocated will be replaced by the some other. The paging behavior of that process, but also the paging behavior of the another process, that indicates that the page fault rate depends on the paging behavior of another process too in the global. In the local replacement, the page fault depends on the paging behavior of that particular process only. Why? Because it is not depend on the other process page fault. So next, that is last topic, it is thrashing. What do you mean by thrashing? The high paging activity is called thrashing. That indicates that process spends more timing in paging than executing. It's called thrashing. What is when that thrashing happens? So operating system monitors the CPU utilization. If the CPU utilization is too low, it will increase the degree of the multiprogramming. As the degree of multiprogramming with respect to global page replacement algorithm, if with respect to global page replacement algorithm, if the particular process require more frames, it requires okay, it starts faulting and taking frames away from other process. Okay, it uh, gives a page fault and it will take the frames of other process. Now what happens? The other process will get very less number of frames. Again, there is a chance of getting page fault with respect to other process. Now the CPU utilization of the totally decrease. As the CPU utilization decreases, operating system will try to increase the CPU utilization. Now what happens? It will import or it will add one more process. As now what happens is the system will completely spend the time in paging rather than executing. So this situation is called as thrashing. Now degree of multiprogramming increases, your CPU utilization will decrease as the thrashing will increase. Now, to overcome from this thrashing, we are implementing one model called working set model. That working set model is nothing but active page or set of active page in use with respect to particular time. So in the given reference thing with respect to say time t1, the active pages are say 1 2 5 6 7. That indicates that till there active page is 1 2 5 6 7. Or if you consider say time t2, the active pages will be 3 4. That indicates that during that time 3 4 is used more compared to other pages. Now, and keeping track of working set model, it is very difficult. Why? Because if the sum of the working set size increases exceeding the total number of available frames, the operating system selects a process to suspend. Why? Because you need to keep on counting the uh, working set model with respect to a particular process and to the all the process in the system. If the working set model size is increases compared to the total number of available frame, the operating system will terminate a particular process. The working set strategy prevents thrashing while keeping the degree of multiprogramming as high as possible. The difficulty with the working set model is keep track of the working set model. Next one is a page fault frequency. What is that page fault frequency? So thrashing has a high page fault rate. Okay. Now with respect to particular process which is having say high page fault rate, that particular process require more frame. If the particular page with respect to particular process, if the page fault rate is low, that indicates that that page is having too many frames. Now you can remove a particular frame from that process. Why? Because the page fault is less. So depending on the upper limit and lower limit, say you can control the page fault rate. So if the If the page fault rate with respect to a particular process is exceeding the upper limit, then you need to add one frame to that, or one or more frames. If the page fault falls below the lower limit, that indicates that it is having more number of frames. So now you can deallocate that frame, and you can allocate to the particular frame to the another process. Okay, thank you. That is the end of the chapter 9.